and they won't. That's how it'll work.
Regardless, yes, this is an elimination match in a way, because 4 and 2 will put you on the cusp of auto qualifying, and I think we're getting ready to go here. Okay, we are getting ready to go.
All right, both runners ready to go. Starting off, we have +5 arrow upgrade capacity.
Yes, indeed. So, as standard disclaimer here, joke, but we're starting with the standard vanilla rescue mission here of Princess Zelda. So our runners will both go over to the magical floating bush, lift it up, fall down the uncle hole, and we'll see what our blood relative has for us.
Are you sure it just doesn't have like roots in the side? Oh, it's bomb day.
Yeah, well, it could, but it's there's. I like to think it's magic, just because it makes it more fun.
So, bombs give you one downside and one upside. Downside, you have to get good, and upside, you have to. You don't have to farm bombs.
Indeed, and Dragus actually got another bomb drop, but having 10 bombs already means that they're full up, so no reason to go grab it.
Mm-hmm. Interestingly enough, if you get a bomb upgrade in the first chest, and it's a bomb seed, you will get full bomb capacity from the uncle, even though it just says 10 on the bomb.
Very interesting. Today we've all learned a little bit there. Yeah, the first chest was an arrow capacity upgrade. Second chest was very nice. In fact, Captain trying something. Didn't quite work out, but still, we'll get the thing there. There we go.
All right, looks like we just have a burrito or a map in the first chest of the escape,
which guarantees there's something in Sank chests for them to open up. But we were about to say that the second chest had 20 rupees in it, so...
Right.
Our runners making their way back to the princess's cell. Can be interesting to see if we see them use the same tactic here for the Green Knight, or if we get a different one. A little different. So, speaking of different tactics, so there's the mandatory key drop, or key chest.
It also turns out they used a little bit different tactics in the previous room. Turns out, if you come in at the... if you take like the most direct possible route trying to get to this room here that capttenneal just went in, you will actually attract the attention of those green guards. So when DragusCloud entered, he actually entered a little high and then went around. That way, they didn't see him, and he was able to get through without any problems.
Yeah, Dragus getting a little bit of bad RNG there and deciding to duck out just because the guard actually came back up toward them, and they were trying to avoid triggering that guard early for reasons that have just been made apparent, because they just had to use a bomb to get through that rather than the pots. You can use 2 bombs here, actually.
Yeah, because he actually wasted a pot, so he's going to have to hit with 2 bombs and then a pot.
Yep. So a little bit of a bomb differential here. 4 versus 2. Getting a mushroom in that chest.
Yeah, so an early mushroom is always an interesting little dilemma. Do you hold on to it, waiting for the Cane of Samaria, hoping to do fake powder, or do you go turn it in early, hoping that it's early progression?
Well, just speaking from my perspective, I would, most times, unless I get a cane early, I'd go ahead and turn it in, because my feeling is if you get a fetch quest item rather early, be it the shovel, be it the mushroom, the powder, anything like that, that triggers something else, generally I feel like there's a reason the game gave you that, and it's because it wants you to go do something. So it'll be very interesting here for Dragus with only 2 bombs, unless they find another one somewhere around here. And it looks like they might be trying to farm up and see if they can get an extra one, because they're gonna have to be really precise to have that second bomb active when they go after the key rat.
Yeah, I actually don't like that, or don't dislike the strategy just mentioned in the chat. What you'll do is you'll save and quit before going to turn in the mushroom. Just go do that, and if it turns out to not be good, just reset.
Yeah, once you get tank open, you can do that. Actually, in fact, you can go ahead and save and quit once you've got the sank save there. Then do your mushroom turn in, and then go. If it's bad, save and reset.
I feel like I'd probably wait to do any of the mushroom turn-in stuff until after, like, the Kakariko and South Shore checks, though. Just because so many items, we got to deal with it.
Correct. Yeah. When I was referring a little bit earlier, I should have been a little bit more specific on that. But going and turning it in right away didn't mean make a left right out of the sanctuary and just run over to the potion shop to do it. But yeah, once you've got the opportunity to do it, and you've made sure you don't need it immediately for anything, I'd go turn it in.
All right, so there is a so Ether and the book in that alcove there in the back. Luckily, DragusCloud manages to get out with one bomb, which is just enough to make this happen.
Yeah, and absolutely. It seems like with those 3 items being in there, specifically the Ether and the book, which is going to be immensely useful to get into Desert Palace if need be, that's probably a good thing that they didn't delay going and grabbing those items.
Yeah, so this is a scenario where I'd likely... there would be a slight deviation in my normal... Whoa, wow, Fire Rod!
Yo!
Sorry, I got distracted. There would be a slight deviation in my normal routing in that when I go to South Shore, I'd actually go to Mini Moldorm first, then Dam, then over to Desert, instead of going to Ice Rod Cave and going the other direction.
Indeed, I might even throw a second slight deviation in here. You've got the book. Why not go ahead and check Ped while you're in Lost Woods right now?
Oh, absolutely.
Just get that info immediately. 7 minutes in, knowing if you have to do a Ped seed, it's infinitely better than checking at 47 minutes.
Yeah. If you have Ped now, if you have book now, you just do it.
Yeah, I didn't quite catch the map check there. I did catch there's a pendant of some color at Tower of Hera, and there's 2 regular crystals at Desert Palace and Easter Palace.
Well, that is basically what I saw of it too. So
I think I want to say it was green pendant. I'm not 110% sure on that, but
well, our tracker says green pendant, so there we go.
All right. By the way, thank you to Carissa for tracking tonight. So indeed, it was green pendant. I thought that was green pendant. Can never be too sure with the quick flick there.
Mm-hmm. So we see a +10 bomb upgrade there. And the flute in the Lost Woods hideout.
That's rather nice to find.
So is either of our runners going to go for that ped check or not? That's the question here. Looks like Dragus is not interested.
Yeah. I know that flute's going to maybe kind of change their opinion on it. Captain's going to go ahead and do a poll. Yeah, they're both going to skip it for now. That's all right. It's not a huge killer, but it's just a little bit of info. All right, guys, for the Swag National Anthem, please remove your hats and remain standing.
Everybody be just say hi to everybody's favorite swag duck as he flies off into the distance. We'll be making use of that extensively throughout this run.
Indeed.
I'm sure.
The goose is loose, the drake is awake, the duck is amok. I can't remember all the other ones. There's like 9 of them. Finding a shield, a bunch of money, and I'm not much else right now in the bottom of Steve's Blind's basement here. Oh, silvers!
There we go. Silver arrows in the top of Blind's hut. And definitely glad you picked that one up.
Indeed. And I believe, ladies and gentlemen, if you missed it the first time, okay, not quite yet. We'll hold off on that. Captain hasn't been over. I thought maybe it would happen now, but gonna delay it just a little bit more. So still got some time to prepare for this.
Oh!
Okay.
Well, have we chosen the archer class today? I think so.
Yes, I believe so. So that will open up, I believe, with what we've got both, unless there's a boots lock, we got both our first two crystal dungeons open.
Yeah, that's true. You would within the logic, you would want the lamp for Eastern, but big deal.
Indeed. And if you would, ladies and gentlemen, please remove your hats and rise for the Spike Deck National Anthem one more time.
Oh yeah, you also do need a glove to lift the rocks in front of desert.
That's always right, dang it. That's like the one thing I sometimes will forget about. And wow, bottle vendor reverse ripoff, giving you 300 rupees for your 100.
Yeah, you made an investment and it paid off wisely.
Indeed, your bonds have matured. We did get a bottle, so Quake. Wow.
Okay.
Okay. And picking up that bottle there, Dragus, in the Blind Hut basement. Captain gonna go ahead and grab that 5 arrow upgrade, so we'll see Dragus go down and get that Quake medallion in just a moment. Getting the silvers now.
capttenneal is going to go ahead and buy some bombs as well, just because, I mean, hey, you're empty, and you might as well get less empty.
You might as well, especially if you have to go and do the maze race right now, or if you're going to do it blind. And of course, Captain's got to go ahead and do the Cuckoo Hut as well, so plenty of reasons to do that.
Put the bomb in the cuckoo hut and blow it all up. Anyway, I'm done.
But yeah, as far as dungeons go, Eastern Palace is now fully completable if you know the dark rooms and you know where to fire your fire rod to light the torches up in the second dark room.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that's a nice and easy full clear right there. Get out of the way. There's just a heart on the library bookshelf ledge.
I keep forgetting that the fire rod does things in those dark rooms.
Indeed. And Dragus is going to go ahead and blind check this. Captain's going to go ahead and not blind check this. So we'll get to see who's got the right idea. Just a little bit of love. Dragus might be a little bit disappointed with that. Trying to get all that work just for a piece of heart. Captain's going to go ahead and do the mushroom turning now. I like this.
It's a very interesting play.
And Dragus is going to go ahead and skip that for now and make the journey down to the swamp dam.
Oh, we got a moon pearl in the swamp. Just a piece of heart there at the potion shop.
Hot and dang, this is a nice dam so far. Captain gonna go ahead and pick up moon pearl as well after draining the bayou, so to speak.
Just a little bit of more explosives here in the dam or under the water itself.
Yeah, you think with soggy bombs, the water might kind of permeate either the bomb casing or maybe just get the wick a little too damp to be lit. But hey, it's a video game.
Dynamite works underwater, so
Well, that's a good point. Maybe bombs operate the same manner in Link to the Past. Who knows? Looks like Captain's gonna go ahead and set up fake flipper here real quick. Or no, just gonna go gonna approach from the opposite. Okay.
Just footing over here to get to Mini Moldorm. I'm not sure it's faster.
Let's see what the prize is. Just a single rupee. 5 rupee. Some bombs.
There's a glove.
There's the glove. And a little bit of love. Okay, so now Desert Palace is indeed fully completable.
Yeah, I feel like a flute to 6 might be happening right soon.
I think that'd be a good call.
I mean, you might flute to 2 or he just did the mushroom, so he's fluting to 2. But you might flute to 8 if you're really concerned about Ice Rod Cave, but right now I think fluting to 6 just kind of screams out a thing.
Well, we're gonna get a Ice Rod Cave check from Dragus, maybe just to clean it up because it's all the way over here, and otherwise you're not gonna route this for a very long time. So certainly possible that there could be something hiding out here. Oh no, those crabs. Oh, got the fairy though, so
Yep, good old fairy bottle giving us that second lease on life. And Captain is going to go over to 8.
mm-hmm.
And just big love.
Big heart. Yep. I kind of like this play, if only because of the fact that if there's a boots lock in desert and you don't know it, and the boots are over here, then you've already got that. You don't have to worry about it anymore. So, not likely, but he could always be worse. Dragus can go ahead and pick up a potion, I think, now with that open. No, let's go back and get the heart. Okay.
Yeah, and capttenneal, also picking up a heart, so demonstrating the song pretty well. Just gonna leave that one. Anyway. Alright, so DragusCloud is going off to Eastern, it looks like. And capttenneal deciding was fluting to 8, then decided to go to 5. So neither of these runners are nearly as excited about Eastern or about Desert Palace as I am.
Yeah, it's
I
okay.
guess there's more things in Eastern,
yeah.
And you have a bow.
Yeah, this one just off the bat is completely completable. There's a sword there, so that turns out to be a good call to go to Sarsaparilla set and go to Eastern. Actually, Dragus is going to go ahead and flute over to 6 now, I think. And that sword makes it even a little bit more easy to... No, going to flute back to 5 and go up the right side, going to Eastern Palace.
Yeah, I mean, it might be a little faster with this staircase here. I'm not entirely certain that it is.
Well, we're about to find out. So, maybe it's about even. Keep in mind that Dragus did make the journey up there before Captain even got out of Sarsaparillas hut.
And Captain sat there and slashed the mini Armos 4 times to get it out of his way. Alright, first chest, 10 arrows. So that's the first item in Eastern.
We'll have to see where that big key turns up here. So thankfully, with what they've got, and probably with the game knowledge they have, even for 3 and 2 runner, Captain and Dragus probably are both fairly well acquainted with the dark rooms here. It's one of the first sets of dark rooms that you really learn in this game.
Alright, just a map in the chest on the right. So the reason that I would be thinking desert here over Eastern is because there is a chance that you could actually complete desert within the logic, right?
Correct.
And with Eastern, unless you find the lamp in here, you're not going to be able to complete it within the logic. That being said, I mean, it could be that you find it here.
It's true. Keep in mind that the logic does say that you need a lamp for this, but most people who are in this tournament, at least based on from what I've seen, will go ahead and just do the dark rooms anyways. One of them's just a big loop that you have to walk around. The other ones go to the far right side of the room, press up, grab pot, smash pot, get key, walk back across. Okay, we don't have to worry about medallions at this point.
Okay, so medallions for days all over the place. And capttenneal is picking up some additional arrows there as well. That's another reason that you might be considering coming to Eastern, is because you picked up the bow, and there's a million arrows under the pots in Eastern.
Yes, indeed. That is always a nice thing to find. Can Dragus now successfully navigating that room, and Captain's going to go ahead and do the same. So the one nice thing here, in case you've never seen the sword technique with the sword spin held down and the little sparkle, basically that just tells you where you're facing, where your position is in the room. Helps you position yourself a little better.
Yep. And in these rooms where it's a fixed camera and it's all in one spot, basically you can just kind of overlay your mental image of what the room looks like and you're fine. The other rooms, some of them, like the room in the back here, actually has 2 screens worth of real estate on it, so it can be a little confusing if you're not careful. Now, DragusCloud is entering this back dark room with no magic.
Okay.
So he cannot use fire rod strats. He's actually going to feel around looking for that guard, or the Igor.
Yeah, this is where it could potentially be a little bit of a hassle. If Dragus wants to, there's a pot on the left here that you can pick up. It's got a small fire drop. Yeah, he picked it up. Help him out a little bit here.
Oh, I mean, he got the key.
Okay, yeah.
It's just he was, under attack from from that green Igor on the left for days. Capttenneal, of course, entering with a little bit of magic and therefore able to light that torch immediately.
Yeah, we got to see a little bit of a difference there. What the strategic difference is doing it completely blind in the dark like that versus doing it with a tiny little bit of magic to be able to light that torch and instantly be able to see, okay, that's where I'm positioned, and I'm close enough to be able to activate that Igor.
I will tell you what my favorite strats for that room are: Ether Medallion strats.
I've heard of that. I've never seen it.
It freezes the popos, and then you can see it. You can use that as your navigation. But yeah, DragusCloud takes care of the Armor Knights and no problem. That's some silver arrows, and also Capttenneal doing the same thing. That's a crystal apiece, a few seconds apart.
Has somebody already achieved 6-0? Yes, indeed they have. We're going to have 4 people that are going to be 7-0.
Yeah, I believe last I checked, I think Andy was 6-0.
Yeah, we have a grand total of 1 person who is 6-0 right now, and it is indeed Andy. He and Pika are the only 2 5-0 runners that have faced off.
Capttenneal is going for the fake flipper play, having achieved 500 rubies or more. DragusCloud, on the other hand, is doing the old man rescue up on Death Mountain. So we have our first major route divergence here.
And Dragus now actually has enough to go do Zora as well, but we'll probably go ahead and just do the remaining checks up here on Death Mountain, mostly because it's a good time to do it, just rather than right now. You can go ahead and work your way over to Zora shortly.
There's only really like 1 check left you can do at this point.
The captain's got the...
I mean, you can see the thing on top of the mountain. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, took him 4 tries there. Very hard to get that. It's for the return fake flipper out of the hobo. It's actually a lot harder than it seems because it requires you to jump and land and then transition all within the same movement to be able to keep that fake flipper.
It's all about walking right at the correct pixel, and you'll just land in the right spot. That being said, you really do want to know what that pixel is, because if you're off by a little bit, you'll overshoot and then soft lock your game.
Indeed, that's never fun. Captain gonna go ahead and activate that water walk with that moon pearl, be able to open up these chests. Unfortunately, it's only a big 20 and a whole lot of love. This is not a Led Zeppelin reference that we're going to be making because that's not his name. His name is not Led Zeppelin.
Correct.
We didn't get to see what was on that Zora ledge.
Yeah. I think Captain might have seen it, but we didn't see it. So,
Yeah.
and Dragus is making the play on Desert, which was my general first idea. It looked like the small key was in the first chest. If the big key is here, we're not boots locked. It's not. Oh, and Zora has the cane. The cane of Samaria.
That was not a rip-off at all. So the life lesson is go talk to Zora.
Indeed. Now, Zora is not a sequence break. Everything else up there was, but Zora, nope. Capttenneal will also be doing the desert play. And DragusCloud is going to check Agina's cave while we're over here, which is a perfectly fine time to do it.
Alright, let's see. Well, with the check here, it's probably not going to be an Agony Cave check. Okay, no, certainly not.
It's the Titan's Myth, which, to be fair, I think we were out of locations at that point. I think it was that, like, in terms of what we'd seen.
Well, let's see. I'm gonna check my watch here. 26 minutes. We got Dark World access. Okay.
Yeah, seems good. I've seen it take a much longer time.
Indeed. So that won't quite yet open up the rest of the East Death Mountain. We're still going to need a mirror and hammer or a hookshot to be able to do that. But it's going to get us into the Dark World here, and Dragus is going to go right on up to this little lovely Dark World portal.
Yes. So when Mitts and Moon Pearl are your Dark World access, this is your only option for entering the Dark World. When you get the hammer, you've got several different locations.
Indeed.
Looked like we had pendants at Thievestown and Misery Mire.
Indeed, that is correct.
And I thought I saw 5 on Skull Woods, but I think I'm making that up.
Yeah, I missed which 2 dungeons had the red crystals. I thought I saw one kind of more toward the south there. It might have been Ice Palace. I'm not totally certain on that though. That 5 indeed was Skull Woods, we're being told. Thank you.
And I think Ice was the other one, like you were saying, but I could be completely wrong on that one.
Yeah, I just saw a flash of red off to the bottom right of the screen, so I think it might have been Ice Palace. It could have also been Swamp Palace. I'm not tightly certain on that yet. Maybe we'll get another check here when.
But
Captain
we do
goes
know
ahead
for
and-
certain that you will need to clear Palace of Darkness, Swamp Palace, Skull Woods, Ice Palace, and Turtle Rock before this seed will be completed.
Indeed. That does bring up some interesting possibilities here about what could be on the pedestal, because gosh, we really need to talk about the pedestal, because chat is going to demand pedestal. It demands satisfaction, and for them satisfaction is ped seed required.
I mean, I demand satisfaction when I get the book to go check the pedestal seed, but neither of these runners did it. There's a blue mail inside Thievestown for DragusCloud.
Yeah, that's a very nice find. Wonder if we'll see Dragus go ahead and just check the first 4 here and then back out in case there's a important item for advancement and progression.
Yeah, so DragusCloud, has that Dark World access, but it is going to be without the Cane of Samaria for a while.
Yeah, unless.
Oh,
Yes,
it was
that's
Swamp.
Swamp Palace. Okay.
So Skullwoods and Swamp Palace are our 5/6s. Blue and reds at Thievestown and Misery Mire. So DragusCloud making the interesting play of going into Pendant Thievestown first. while capttenneal is heading over to Skullwoods, which is a crystal and technically clearable right now.
Yep, technically so.
Also technically awful.
We've got 9 hearts and green mail. The green mail makes me a little bit concerned, but 9 hearts should be enough if you watch your health to get through here. Kind of surprised that Dragus is going to go ahead and clear out the rest of this dungeon. I kind of feel like it might have been a stop sign thrown up there at the start with only the mail and all 3, I think, of the dungeon items were sitting within the first 4 chests.
So that is actually the go sign for me when I'm in Thieves Town. If I see only 1 item in the front, I'm like, well, there's 3 in the back. I better just go.
That's a valid point. Finding a red mail.
Well,
okay. That's actually not a bad find.
You know, especially if you're going to go do Moth after this, that seems pretty good.
Yeah, that'll get you nice, and you've only got 7 hearts, but still, red mail will reduce a lot of the damage in the Dark World here, so that's extremely helpful. But those who are wondering about Captain being a little bit behind on getting to the Dark World, Captain did do a couple of extra checks, mostly up around Zora and the Hobo.
Yeah, he's done the flipper checks.
Indeed, out of that got the Cane of Samaria, so that is a significant advantage here.
Oh, and he can use it right here. It's the best.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be very helpful. And while Dragus going to go check out this totally innocent, not at all secretly evil maiden. Totally legit.
Oh, speaking of which, there's the flippers.
Well, that actually crosses off another thing off the pedestal possibilities. We're starting to actually run out of items that could be required on there. There's not a whole lot that our runners haven't picked up already that they wouldn't need to clear out those 3 dungeons. I mean, for Thieves Town, you can basically just go in relatively quickly with minimal gear. Tower of Hera, for that, you would just need a fire source, which you already have, and you need the mirror to get up there, which that's not going to be on pedestal, potentially. Though there's ways around that, so mirror could be on pedestal.
The thing is, either mirror can be... You either need mirror, or you need hookshot and hammer. So one of those is not going to be there.
Well, I don't think hookshot and hammer are on pedestal. That'd be kind of weird.
That would be very silly. Correct.
We would need to talk to Vitorp and Christos about that. 2 items being on the pedestal. But Cane of Samaria, which you would need for Misery Mire, also not there. And you'd also need to get across that gap, so you would need either boots or hookshot for that.
Yep, and we know that boots are going to be required for desert anyway. So
yes. So in theory, boots couldn't be on there anyways. Oh no. Well, that's right. Captain hasn't used the ferry yet. So both the runners have used their ferries up.
Yeah, boots can absolutely be there on the pedestal. It's just we're gonna want them. I'm just saying we're gonna want them.
I kind of wonder if that was an intentional death there that Captain took. Either way, I think it works out just fine because you get that fairy heal right before you go into Mothula just to make sure that your health is up all the way. So I think, intentional or not, I think that worked out great.
That is several good hits on Moth. I know they didn't all count, but some of them did, and yeah, that should do it.
Indeed. I'm going to just pick up a little bit of love. So we know that the flippers are up in Skull Woods. It'll be interesting to see if Dragus heads up there next.
What's hilarious is the flippers, you know, those are the things that make it easy for you to go up to Zora, right? And they're in that room where you want the Cane of Samaria to open it.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't because the cane is on Zora. I mean, you could get to Zora with the glove, but but you don't want to.
And you can also open that room just by dragging that stupid statue all the way across there, but you don't want to if you don't have to, because it's a pain in the butt to do.
Yep, so capttenneal basically sequence broke him some convenience is what he did.
So yeah, Dragus is going to make the world tour here. Take our frog friend all the way around to Hype Cave.
So we didn't find anything required in Thieves Town, right?
Nope, just the males.
Yeah. Now the males
there's
are the
Ice
best.
Rod. Ooh.
And Hammer.
A little bit of love. A little bit more love. And the big 20. Well, that's
I
a
mean,
nice
7
one.
out of 10.
Yeah, I would say so. And I think one of those little bits of love there ended up giving Dragus a little extra love and a refill on the hearts. So yeah, that turned out being nice finds.
So yeah, I'd say 7 out of 10 Hype Cave because you got both Hammer and Ice Rod. So all the hype coming in 2 items right at the beginning, but who says you have to save your hype for the end?
Yep. So turns out that perhaps Mirror could be on the pedestal still. If Hookshot is found and it's floating out here in the overworld somewhere.
Right.
Or in a dungeon.
And vice versa. If the Mirror is floating around, we could have the Hookshot somewhere. We could have the Hookshot on the pedestal.
Boy, that would be fun to find. Considering of those 2 items, the Hookshot is very much going to be needed to get across the gap there in Ganon's Tower. As well as to complete Swamp Palace, which is a crystal dungeon.
Alright, so Dragus is going to head over to the Mire area. Now, Mire, once again, is a pendant dungeon. So, and we know he's got the ability to open Mire, but he doesn't really have the ability to do anything in it.
Nope, can't get across that gap yet. So, it's just the Bombos medallion to get inside. So we know that. That's a shovel. Okay. Some bombs.
And no mirror, so we won't be checking Checkerboard Cave either. Dragus just grabbing that shovel and moving on. capttenneal also going to be heading to the back of Thieves Town, so he's going to pick up some mail upgrades as well.
And Dragus not going to do the shovel yet. Probably heading up to, I'll probably say going up to Skull Woods at this point, since he fluted to 3.
Yep, Skull Woods. That'll get Dragus that set of flippers, which may lead him up to get that Cane of Samaria.
Chat, fetch is never gonna happen. Stop trying to make fetch happen.
Okay, so capttenneal now going to pick up that red mail. So you go from fragile to formidable in like 2 seconds.
Ped is not necessarily dead yet, but it's on life support at this point, just simply because of what's left. There's not a lot that's left that could be needed for that, but there's a lot of different combinations of things that could lead to something being dead.
Yeah, I was gonna say Fletch already happened a long time ago. We got the bow like way early, and the silvers.
Indeed.
The flippers were in the big key chest of Skull Woods.
Indeed. Which Dragus will probably open on the way out, I would assume.
That seems likely.
So that's an interesting question. What was on Lumberjack Ledge? I don't think either of our runners checked it.
I think one of them did.
Oh, maybe Captain did. I know somebody went. I can't remember. I think it was Dragus that went straight into the Lost Woods and skipped it. So
Yeah.
maybe Captain did check that.
I know Captain went
can't
up
remember.
north. Maybe he didn't actually go into the Lumberjack Cave.
He might have. And we might have just forgot because obviously, if that was the case, it probably wasn't anything of too much value.
Oh yeah, it was a plus
Yeah.
10 something.
Oh, yeah, I think it was arrows. I think it was plus 10 arrows. Yeah, it was just
Right.
Because
the
nothing really.
plus 10 bombs was in Lost Woods.
Great. And so both runners now have completed Thief's Town, Eastern Palace, and we're about to have shortly both runners complete Skullwoods as well. Oh, Dragus playing with fire.
Was narrowly dodging the late grab there.
Yeah, it can totally happen if you've never seen it happen. Because of the way that the game works with different layers, if you haven't transitioned between layers, that is completed the complete falling animation, the Wallmaster can grab you even if you're all the way disappeared in the hole and drag you back to start. It's not fun. So a lot of times you'll see a runner very briefly pause, wait for the Wallmaster to drop out of the way, and then go ahead and fall down the hole.
Well done for DragusCloud on that Mothula fight. With the red mail, it's significantly easier, and capttenneal has a little bit of an issue in that we only have 59 rupees attempting taking game.
Indeed. And I see in chat there someone saying that mirror can't be on pedestal. It actually can be on pedestal if the hook shot is not. If the hook shot is accessible right now without the need of the mirror. Like if it's a currently accessible overworld location or within one of the dungeons that our runners can complete, they can take the long way around to get the Tower of Hera.
Speaking of the long way around, Dragus is going to have to pull this statue to get the flippers out of Skull Woods.
Yeah, not as neat and tidy as doing it with the King of Samaria, but a little bit too far. Those switches are really fussy. That's another possibility too. Could be a vanilla pedestal pull. Could be a required sword.
Yeah, that is an extremely unlikely possibility, but still possible.
I would laugh if that was the case. Just because it being the vanilla item at the pedestal would be highly amusing.
All right, so DragusCloud is now going to head over, looks like, to Palace of Darkness. We have the hammer and the bow. Means we can clear the place out, and as long as we are relatively okay with dark rooms, we can actually finish it.
Correct. So yeah, there's a few scenarios where that second sword can be on the pedestal, which are if it's locked behind something that requires a second pedestal, namely the tablets, or if both of the remaining upgrades are within Ganon's tower, meaning that you can't. Actually, no, because the runners will be able to complete all that. So
yeah, it's literally double tablet sword. It's basically the only way it happens.
Correct. Which is weird, but at the same time, not without possibility.
Or both swords could be locked behind something on a tablet. That's another thing.
Mm-hmm. Like, say for example, we have the the wonderful situation where trying to think of something good here. I know. If hookshot's on the tablet, hookshot is on the pedestal, and both the sword upgrades are in later chests in Hookshot Cave.
All right. At which point you start channeling your inner hover skills.
Yeah, you just have to release your inner insert hovering runner here. Probably other than Andy, because everyone always says Andy. So
yeah, that's why I didn't say the person specifically.
There's like 6 people to choose from that can do it in the whole community. Okay. There's the
Speaking
boots.
of hovering,
There's the boots.
and the mirror.
Well,
So
Hookshot can still be on there.
is paying out today.
Can you hover Hookshot Cave? You can hover anything if you try. Hard enough.
You can hover everything except the gap to the back of Swamp Palace.
Yep.
Because that is not a gap, that is a ledge.
Someday somebody will hover that dark room in Turtle Rock, and everyone's minds will be blown. It will just be like, okay, nobody else can ever play this game again. We're done. That's the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Alright, so big 20 at the digging spot, which capttenneal is actually going to pick up, because you broke.
You broke, son. Gonna go to your digging game. Could Hook be on Ped? Yes.
I believe,
Short answer on that, yes.
I believe that is basically it as far as required items. Of course, things locking those transitively, that's another thing. But we'll just let you think of that.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so DragusCloud picked up something in the right-hand side of pod. It was likely the big key or the burrito, because those don't show up in the dark.
Did get a key, though. And you get to have the fun of Ped Dark Maze. Pod Dark Maze. Ped Pod, it's all the same. Things you have to do. Did we know the bumper cave item? No.
I don't believe anyone did check Bumper Cave. capttenneal is actually going to pick up those 300 rupees in the Peg Cave, because, again, you broke.
Why isn't capttenneal doing pod? That's probably just a routing choice at this point. Wants to get some of the overworld locations here. So this might be a little bit easier to do after pod having that mirror. You can go ahead and get that South of Grove location check. You do a check of Bombo's tablet as well. Oh, capttenneal, are you gonna?
Oh, this is going to go poorly.
Oh, yeah, that was a mistake. On one hand, yeah, remember to do that, but our friend decides that you still have that chest following you. I don't like that. Too bad.
I think the game is just... I think the game has decided he doesn't need to do digging game today.
Look, it's a sign. Don't do digging game. The game is trying to literally tell you not to do it.
Alright, so DragusCloud is now going to head over to one of the more challenging dark rooms in the game. That is the Turtle Dark Room. Now, the presence of the fire rod does make it a little easier, assuming you can get that in the correct spot.
Indeed. Now capttenneal will make the journey over to Palace of Darkness.
Did he take the midnight train going anywhere to get there? Sorry, you said he made the journey. I'm done.
No, it looks like he's not going to the pod. I guess they're going on their separate ways. Okay, look, if we're going to make some journey references, I'm at least going to try and get as many in here as I can.
When the lights go out in the palace. Sorry, I'm done. Alright, DragusCloud is trying to get those torches lit. Having some trouble. There we go.
Indeed.
Alright. capttenneal is going to head over to Catfish, which is an interesting check, given the situation. We know that 2 items that our runners very much need are in pod and are very close to each other. Yep, that is just bombs at Catfish. So where will capttenneal be heading next? Back over to the pod entrance. This seems like a likely play now. So with that mirror, we now have access to a good portion of Death Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Dragus, on the other hand, is going to head over to Mire and maybe do finish up Desert while we're here. I would guess a checkerboard cave check might happen as well.
Yeah, I would expect we'll probably see both. Hey, you gonna pick up that heart? And we'll
Don't think you have the big key, Dragus.
No, not yet. Just remember, it doesn't have the big key. Definitely just remembered.
Yeah, if only I could remember these things while I'm playing.
Hey, there's a big key.
Yep. Guaranteed to be right there. We may go ahead and check the big chest because we're still missing 1 item. We only found the shield. But it turns out it's going to be on Landmo.
Yep. And we do know where that 3rd shield upgrade is. It's on Lake Hill Island, so if either runner wants to go grab it, it'll be right there for them when they go to Ice Palace. Which might not be a bad idea if they don't find the magic cape or arcana burnout at some point here.
I was gonna say it actually, at the very least, should put it in their mind that Laser Bridge, is an actual thing. Like, it could be in logic once you have access to it.
Right, that's exactly what I was thinking here. Get that laser bridge safety. Obviously, the easiest way to do it without burning a whole lot of magic, especially if you don't have half magic, is to go ahead and just get that mirror shield that take care of all the beams for you.
All right, so Dragus is now heading to Landmo, while capttenneal just picked up the boots and the mirror here in Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, so for those wondering about, well, it looks like Captain's behind it. Something happened? No, just a few more overroll checks at this point than Dragus. Dragus making the gamble that a lot of those locations won't need to be checked, and so far that is turning out to be the case based on what we found. Except
minus one fairly,
yes,
sore location.
Except for one little thing that Dragus does not have that Captain has, which is the Cane of Samaria on Zora. Hey!
Master Sword at Landmo, that's going to feel pretty good.
Yes,
and
indeed.
I believe that puts us a hook shot away from the fabled no mode, where we get to know everything they need to get is.
I believe, Bob, you are 100% correct on that one.
Though I'd also probably like to know where the lamp is. It's not strictly required, but it is strictly useful.
It'll be very useful for the Turtle Rock basement roller coaster.
Dragus is jumping in the water, so we may see that Zora check right now.
Well, I kind of think going through that portal that leads up to the waterfall might just be a check here of Zora. Possibly. I don't know. I just don't know.
I mean, you could just check the waterfall cave. I don't know why you do that.
You just go to Zora Ledge, see it's nothing, and be like, oh, there's nothing up here. I'm going to save my money because Zora is always cheap.
Alright, turned out it was just a bomb upgrade there on the Zora Ledge.
Indeed. Yeah, I'm always curious where the lamp is because usually a lot of stuff is lamp locked by logic, so it's always very interesting to find because that tells you, oh, you were supposed to go here first via the logic, but most runners will never follow that, especially if it's somewhere stupid in a way like first chest in Swamp Palace or deep within Ice Palace.
So with that, Dragus will now be heading up to Death Mountain. We're going to check Tower of Hera, possibly.
Mm-hmm. And our chat's asking a very simple question. With how complex it is, how can, and the fact that it basically lets you skip hookshot if you're really good at it, how is hovering only a minor glitch? I think it was, you already explained it in chat. That's a difference basically between going out of bounds and breaking things, being able to get into places you can't even get to at the start, versus hovering is just basically, hey, you can go across this gap. And as we mentioned before, there are very few people that know how to do it within the community and know how to do it well. I think we can count the number on our two hands.
Yeah, I know a few people who can pull it off, and I know that I do not possess the manual dexterity necessary to pull it off.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, it may be a situation where, like at the start of the tournament, like Trizzle just showed up, one day and just hovered in his first match, and everyone was like, "When did he learn to do that?" But yeah, there's not a whole lot of people. Usually, I know Trizzle, Andy, TGH, Giselle, a couple other people are generally the ones that will get mentioned when that gets brought up. But it's not a whole lot of people. It's very difficult to do.
I think capttenneal is going to take an intentional death here as well, mainly on account of, or no, just taking a mirror.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was trying to take a death just because it would refill his health, kind of.
In a way, you could say that bomb jump's kind of like a hover, but it's a little bit like that in that you're able to kind of go across gaps, but it's just a different setup, and it doesn't require you pressing and depressing the button in a certain pattern in a very quick way. It's like a lazy man hover.
Oh, speaking of lazy man, that paradox cave was disgusting.
Yeah.
And not in a good way.
No, we found a bunch of good stuff, so there wasn't really a whole lot that could have been in Paradox Cave that would have made it a high value target.
It was 6 big 20s and a piece of heart, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. Yeah, those big 20s, there was like 27 of them in here. They all got to be somewhere, right?
All right, so with that ugly paradox cave out of the way, we can move on to more important things.
Like Super Bunny Cave?
Yep, that's the plan. There's a lot more money. There was more value in that one chest in Super Bunny Cave than all of Paradox Cave combined.
Which, that's not a statement you get to say a whole heck of a lot. Oh, Dragus is gonna do the bonk across the gap here.
Yep, you can have the hook shot in this chest. It's not there today.
Yeah, my round 2 seed says high. Wait, was it? No, it was round 3. Round 3 had that in there, and that was not pleasant.
Gross.
This is my go mode item. Just a big 20 up on the floating island. We'll see in a moment here if Dragus goes ahead and just checks Turtle Rock real quick. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, at this point, I think you just go in and clear Turtle Rock.
Given what you have, I think that's probably a good play.
I mean, it's here, it's a crystal, you've got everything you need to clear it, assuming you know how to, go on tracks in the dark.
Yeah, lamp could be here, though.
True.
Chest here.
Yeah, to be fair, it's actually not that difficult to do that dark room there in the dark back of the Turtle Rock. The place where we're going, I looked on the left side of the screen and saw Helmosaur King, and I was like, Pod, no, that's not it.
Yeah, so there's a couple of things that Hookshot and Lamp help with, obviously, in here. Hookshot's going to help with the torch room here on the left, but you don't need it. You can just take the long way around. It'll be just fine. Well, in this case, Hookshot absolutely can't be in Gan's Tower because we won't be able to complete Swamp Palace without it. But
yeah, but in a hypothetical scene, somebody who could hover. would have a
Oh,
major
yes.
advantage in that particular instance. It's just
Absolutely.
very, it's just a corner case, you know?
Absolutely, yeah.
I don't think throwing a cane block onto the platform actually creates the platform. I think you have to actually activate the cane over the question block.
That is correct. If you just throw the block on top of it, there's the big key. Small key. If you just throw the block on top of it, it just goes into the void.
So this is a very nice setup for Turtle Rock, assuming you're go-moding it.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not.
Nope. Still looking for that hook shot. Lamp, if you can find it, make it a little bit easier to get through the rock and roll basement roller coaster of Turtle Rock here, but you may not find it. And still, it's not, as you were mentioning, Bob, it's not too difficult once you know what the pattern is. There's a certain set of directional pad presses that make it relatively automatic to get where you're looking for. It's really just about memory and timing and all that.
Yeah. If anybody would like me to explain the specific set of button presses, I can, but that would waste a bunch of people's time.
Yeah, we could talk about it if we get to that situation. And indeed, lamp can't be on laser bridge because in theory you need the lamp to be able to get there. Especially because of the fact that we haven't found a cane of Burna or a magic cape to be able to do laser bridge at this point.
Right. But the lamp absolutely could be here in this chest for the big key chest, or in Mimic Cave, or in the big chest, or in the chest just before the dark room.
The crystal roller room. Yep. So a couple of spots it could still be within logic for the lamp to be here. If it's not found before we get to the end of the crystal roller room, then this is an out of logic play.
And capttenneal picks up his Master Sword off of Lanmola's. And I imagine he might also take a trip up to Death Mountain. What do you think?
I think so. That makes sense.
DragusCloud has clipped the Mimic outside the right side of the room.
The heck?
That certainly was a thing. And the single arrow inside Mimic Cave for maximum trolling.
I'm more impressed by the clip. Pretty sure I've never seen that happen before. I understand how it happened, but I've just never seen somebody do that. Is Dragus in the lead? At the moment, if we see everybody go through the same thing and we find our go mode item, which is the hook shot, probably. But we're still looking for that hook shot. So if Captain checks somewhere and finds the hook shot, then I would say no.
All right, it's darkroom time. As you can see, Drag is finding the switch just fine and going to go around the switch. And then at this point, you just basically hold left until you see yourself go down twice. Then you start holding down. And there you go.
Yep.
So capttenneal like DragusCloud, I believe, actually skipping out on Tower of Hera proper.
Right. So this will be a fun possible scenario. We've got. Oh, there's a tempered sword. Okay. So
That is
Dragus opening up that.
something you'd like to find before heading to Trinex.
And picking up that last key as well on Laser Bridge. Opening up that back room will let Dragus spawn right here. Won't have to go do anything else except go open these last two chests looking for that hook shot. Finds a bottle.
Yeah, so it looks like we are one item left here in Turtle Rock, and there it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's the map is left.
I believe so. If we've counted it correctly, I believe the map's the only thing that can be left. So here comes the interesting play. Obviously, you're probably going to Ice Palace next, right? Because it's a crystal dungeon. You always want to complete crystal dungeons first while you can. It's definitely possible that the hook shot could be so. Ooh, that's not fun.
Dragus takes a beating.
Indeed.
There.
Yeah, as I was about to say right before Dragus fell. Definitely possible the hookshot could be an early location up there, and you won't need it to get across that gap to get to the other rooms, or maybe the keys are friendly for that, and you don't need it anyways. But there's a possibility that there could be items that are hookshot locked, so you may skip those chests entirely. Go ahead and complete Cold Stare, and if you still don't find a hookshot, then it starts to get interesting, and we go check. And Captain's overworld checks might the earlier overworld checks here might come back to help a little bit, because Dragus may start to check some of those same locations.
Yeah, I imagine there will be some more overworld in Dragus's future.
Indeed.
After some of this. Now, if you're DragusCloud, after completing Turtle Rock, what I might do if I were DragusCloud is actually go check Tower of Hera next, because you're up here,
Right.
and then finish it off with Spike Cave.
Mm-hmm. Get the full clear there on Death Mountain, so you don't have to make the journey back up here in case there is something up here. You get it right away. Oh, that's the compass, but yes, yeah, good call on the very, very good call on the lack of any more non-dungeon items in there, Bob.
I just remember seeing the compass at one point, but not the map. So
yeah, for those asking, can hookshot still be on PED? Heck yeah, it can be. So we got two pendant dungeons left, and
Dragus has no interest, it looks like, in checking that out. Whoa, wait, is Dragus doing what I think he's doing? Are we doing the hookshotless swamp dip?
I think so. I think
what's happening?
the
Is this reality?
yeah. So my feeling on this is Dragus is thinking, well, it's either in the front half of Ice Palace before I get to the hookshot jump, or it's not an Ice Palace at all, and in which case you just go ahead and complete it anyways. Or it's if it's in a dungeon, it's probably something where Dragus is thinking, okay, maybe I'm gonna go check Bombos first too. So that's helpful.
We're doing Bombos check first, so that's not completely strange.
Yeah. So that would mean that Dragus is thinking one of those first 4 chests in Swamp Palace, maybe 5 if the big key's found, has the hook shot. And it would be vanilla dungeon.
And it's not outside the realm of possibility. It's very rare for hookshot to be in its vanilla dungeon, but it's not outside the realm of possibility, and Dragus is going for it.
Oh boy. This is a bit of a gamble here. Dragus does have some time to play with. over Captain because of the fewer overworld checks, but this is going to take some time, and if it's not in here, it's a double dip in the Swamp Palace versus if Captain finds it in another dungeon or the overworld first, that's going to be go mode. And that's a significant time save. Very interesting to see if following TR here, if Captain goes up and does Tower of Hera instead. Or Ice Palace, or really anything else at this point besides doing the swamp check here.
Well, there's our lamp in Swamp, which, to be fair, doesn't surprise me at all.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense that it was that early on in Swamp. That I would really, relatively in Swamp, that'd be the only place it could really be. So that does make sense. Indeed. So just to clarify, hookshot is indeed required for go mode because you need it to actually defeat Argus. You need it to be able to get the puffs off of him and kill them. So you also need it to be able to get that gap, but being able to kill the boss is kind of also a big deal too. So
Yeah, that does make Pod a logically forced double dip on account of having that mirror requiring you to get the lamp, which the logic wants you to have to beat Pod.
Which, all things granted, with all the matches I've cast in the past week, it's not the absolute worst kind of dip I've seen at all. Triple dip TR says hi.
Alright, so Dragus now has 2 more chances to find that hookshot here in Swamp.
Because Dragus doesn't have the hookshot, he's going to have to check these 2 chests the old-fashioned way, the way you're supposed to do it in the vanilla game, which is go all the way up, fall down, go back around, go all the way up again, fall down the other side.
capttenneal is going to go get his single arrow out of Mimic Cave.
So now we begin to wonder about, if it's not in the Swamp Palace, where the heck could the hookshot be? Yeah. In theory, 3 dungeons open still that can be completed. They could all have the hookshot in them as one of their items. The weird thing is they're all relatively low item count dungeons. Here's the big key. Okay, so we got 1 more chest to check.
That gives us, basically just another free shot at a chest. And if it happens to be in the big chest, then that is the most ridiculous thing. The actual vanilla hookshot.
Yeah, that would be the dumbest thing that it could possibly be. Yet at the same time.
Oh, Dragus forgot to hit
no.
the switch.
Yep. Boy, we got some overworld locations still to check too. Bumper Cave, no one's been up there yet. The Boots Lock locations, Bonk Rocks, and we're gonna get a check here of just a big 50. So rip that idea. Bonk Rocks and King's Tomb. Graveyard Ledge hasn't been checked yet, I believe.
It is actually kind of interesting picking up the mirror and the boots at the same time, like we did this time, because that unlocks basically all 3 of those North Dark World locations. I call them North Dark World. 2 of them are actually in the Light World, but you could get there from the Dark World.
Right, that is correct. And they have the Titans missed anyway, so they could go ahead and just do King's Tomb the usual vanilla way.
True.
So I'm kind of thinking here, since I like to call this room in TR that Captain's going through right now a roller coaster. Well, and it's not in Swamp Palace. Would a roller coaster in the dark, would that be Space Mountain?
It could be. Could very well be Space Mountain. I mean, it is up on a mountain.
It is.
It looks a little less like space and more like fiery death, which I'm not sure Disney would approve.
Woo! That would be great.
Dragus is gonna go get that mirror shield, because why not?
Yeah, why not? I mean, you have already completed Laser Bridge. You don't necessarily need it, but... Dragus, I think, is going to go ahead and do Hobo check now.
I don't think capttenneal would recommend this roller coaster to any of his friends. There we go. He made it to the edge. He's going to use this potion here because he's a little low on health. I do not blame him one bit. He's going to take the safety door. And Dragus is going to go ahead and take care of some other locations that we haven't seen yet, or that he hasn't seen yet. capttenneal picks up that tempered sword. We get the small key here. We've just got a bottle and a heart piece left. He'll finish off Turtle Rock as well. Now Dragus looks like he will be heading up to the North Dark World checks. Maybe Catfish. He's done He's gonna do Catfish, of course. And capttenneal finishes off Laser Bridge just as his life expires, and he can go ahead and respawn with a little extra health.
Yes, indeed.
All right, where is DragusCloud heading next? He's starting from Sanctuary, which means maybe we'll see some King's Tomb and Bonk Rocks.
I think that's certainly the play. Go ahead and get these overworld locations right out of the way right now.
Bugnet in King's Tomb. Seems good.
It's like a choose your own adventure book at this point. It's like turn to page 37. You go to King's Tomb, you find a Bugnet, the game laughs at you.
And a big 20 in the Bonk Rocks.
Oh boy.
Dragus is now going to head up and check at the Lumberjack Cave, which he did not do the first time.
Nope. might be doing so. A little bit worried right now, but we'll have just a little sigh of relief there. Like, okay, don't have to do that.
Captain's gonna refuel on potions, which I have literally no problem with.
Lamp was in the very first chest in Swamp, besides the key. And Dragus gonna go ahead and dip into Ice Palace here.
And so is capttenneal.
Yes, indeed. So this is actually, they've actually pulled right. That Swamp Palace play actually pretty much ate up most of Dragus's lead, his quote unquote lead, from not checking those early overworld locations.
Yep, and if Hookshot is in here, capttenneal will be able to completely go mode that swamp.
Yeah, that could be trouble for Dragus. I mean, they'll both be able to essentially go mode it in the way that you can go and finish it, but that would have been a huge time advantage for Dragus that would have been neutralized. Nope, just a map so far.
Yep, just a map.
So one of the things to keep in mind too is that based upon the key layout inside of Ice Palace, Hookshot may actually be required to get some of the later chests.
So if the big key is on the right hand side, then Hookshot's not required. So if it's in like the spike chest or the tongue chest or its vanilla location. And that's because
correct. Yes.
Yeah. That's because the game could require you to sort of save and quit out of Ice Palace to get there. I mean, you wouldn't, or mirror out.
Yes.
You'd just do the bomb jump, but and DragusCloud is going to go ahead and skip the traditional Ice Palace bomb jump. Tenneal was thinking about it.
Yeah, I think actually Tenneal was going to do it and then just accidentally smacked into the crystal twice, so had to wait a moment to reset it.
Yeah. So, turns out, if you're going to full clear Ice Palace, and you have the Cane of Samaria, it's actually not faster to do this bomb jump.
Correct, because having the cane no longer means that you need to go ahead and get that early switch flip or get the block push down there. You can just go ahead and put a block down there anyways.
So there's 50 rupees for DragusCloud, and he's going to go ahead and head over to Ice Tea Room, it looks like.
Indeed.
Yeah, from that Freezor room, there were a couple of options you had. You could go down here to Ice Tea Room. The other option is you can bomb jump across that hole and reach the right-hand side.
Correct. So it will be interesting to see if Captain goes ahead and tries to do that here.
You'd have to do 2 bomb jumps. Really.
Nope. Yeah, is gonna think better of it, maybe. Yeah.
I believe that was just a small key in Ice Tea Room.
Yes, indeed. Oh. Yeah, it's gonna walk around here.
Alright, so now Dragus is going to head to the tricky bomb jump here.
Oh boy.
In
Yes. This is gonna be interesting.
Ice Palace.
This is a pixel perfect bomb jump. You have to be in the right spot to be able to get right across that gap there. Your bomb's gotta be lined up just right. You gotta be lined up just right. Left a little too early.
Yeah. So the pixel that's perfect is the Y pixel. And I think Dragus was 1 pixel too high.
Yeah,
So
Dragus is
just going to take the mirror,
Yep.
which is perfectly fine.
Mhm.
You can use that key above and just reach it.
Exactly. So when you get to that room with the one large sliding spike, you can just go ahead and let's do its normal thing and go to the right, open up that door, and I'll get you access to the other side there.
Captain is doing something here. Oh, maybe Captain is going straight for Cold Stare. Going to use that as his, quote, mirror.
Could certainly be the case. I would bet, yep, that's the case. That way, I guess if you find the item in question, if you find the hook shot somewhere over there, if it's, another chest, you can go ahead and just find it. Or maybe taking even the gamble that it's not even in this dungeon. Just go kill Cold Stare right now. And then go somewhere else. Tower of Hera, Misery Mire, or something.
Yeah, maybe. So, CapttenTneal gonna face off against Cold Stare. We've got Bombo strats and spin to get him over to the corner. So spin and 6 slashes will take down one of these puffballs.
Indeed, and when they're stacked on top of each other like that, you can damage all of them. But what's really nice too is that you got that first slash and then got, I think, at least a second slash on all 3 of them in the corner there. So very nicely done. Not super clean, but clean enough to get the job done. That's all that really matters at this point.
There has not been a pedestal check. It is completely possible that the one item we're looking for is there. Once again, extremely unlikely. CapttenTneal is just actually leaving Ice Palace behind.
Yeah, making a gamble that it's not required.
Yes, but unfortunately, I think that means he's going to Swamp.
Oh yeah, gonna do the same play that Dragus did. Oh, there's some bombs there for Dragus. Not looking too good for that hook shot still being in here somewhere. Big key is gonna be right over here, I believe.
It's gonna be like chest.
In the boomerang. Okay, yeah. Out.
So the big key will be in the spike chest, and then the hook shot could be in the big chest. Is the one place it could be.
I'm trying to remember if we found 3 items yet. No, we haven't. Not yet.
No.
Okay. There it is.
CapttenTneal gonna do the Bombo's tablet check, as we saw before.
So, for those wondering, no, we have not seen a ped check yet. Our runners have the ability to do that right at the start of the game.
Oh no!
Uh-oh.
Dragus isn't gonna be able to check this big chest.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Because without the hook shot, you can't do the little trick to get back across.
No.
So we're going to have an orphaned Ice Palace big chest here by both players. If that turns out to be the hook shot, which, according to my analysis of the logic, it absolutely could be, we're going to have a big problem on our hands.
We're going to have a very long seed, probably. I assume if that's the case, both of our runners may go ahead and complete both remaining pendant dungeons first, looking for it in one of those, and then even maybe do a ped pull. So keep in mind, our runners did have access to do a pedestal check.
He does have 3 items.
Okay.
I forgot about the 50 rupees in the freezer room.
Yeah, I was trying to remember about that.
So bad.
I was like, I thought I counted 3, and then I was thinking to myself, maybe I didn't.
No, if you think you've got something right and I tell you no, don't necessarily believe me.
No, it's just one of those things where I was kind of like, well, gosh, maybe I forgot about something here, because that's happened to me before. But Dragus does indeed have all 3 items. Skip that chest. That's probably why.
Yeah, that's why he skipped it.
There.
So yeah, we found the 50 rupees in the freezer room. We found the bombs in the tongue chest and the blue boomerang in the big key chest. Those are the items in ice.
Well, that leaves us with 2 items apiece in Misery Mire and the Tower of Hera, and a green pendant within that possibility as well.
Yep, we've also got the possibility of Graveyard Ledge, Grove Ledge, several other
I still don't think
things.
we've seen Bumper Cave.
Yeah, we haven't seen Bumper Cave. We still don't have Cape, of course.
Yeah, both of our runners could have checked pedestal almost an hour and a half ago, and neither of them went to do it. So
Yeah, the book was literally an escape.
can it be Green Pendant? Yes. Can it be in Misery Mire? Yes. Can it be on pedestal? Yes. Can it be on Graveyard Ledge? Yes. It can be pretty much anywhere within the remaining checkable spots.
Yeah, it can be anywhere except Ganon's Tower and the back, or basically anywhere in Swamp Palace, because we know it's gone. It's not Swamp.
Yes. So basically, yeah. This last chest hunt, last item hunt is wide open. So Graveyard Ledge, first up.
It's not in Hookshot Cave.
Yeah. Yeah. Up just a little bit of love, a whole lot of love actually. So there goes Graveyard Ledge. Yeah. Have we seen Catfish yet?
Yes, both runners did check the catfish.
Okay. I'm just trying to remember.
I don't remember what it was. I just know it wasn't useful.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember. I had a race where I commentated where that was a thing. Hookshot was on Catfish, and no one went and checked it for like 90 minutes, even though it was accessible. And one person checked in one.
All right, Dragus is going to check Bumper Cave Ledge. Just another big heart.
There's bombs. Okay. Could be Bombo's tablet. We've checked Bombo's tablet, and it is not Hookshot.
It's not Bombos. It's not either. Both runners elected to completely disregard.
Oh. Dragus was thinking something, maybe. Wait, no, because we got four items out of Thieves' Town. So
yeah, I believe so. He went inside and checked the menu just to see if he had all 3 dungeon items.
Yeah, because if he doesn't have all 3 dungeon items, with that big chest being the only one left, it would have to contain a dungeon item. But Dragus is now going ahead and checking some of the locations that Captain has already checked. So again, Captain lost quite a bit of time. Captain now making back some of that time because these are checks that have already been completed. But Dragus will also get a chance. No, I'm not gonna forget about South of Grove.
Yeah, it looks like we're gonna leave the Grove Ledge behind for now, although he may decide to give it a shot here in a bit. I'd probably check that Grove Ledge, and then I think my next move actually, and this is completely weird, but my next move would actually be check the pedestal.
Yeah, because if you can check the pedestal and you know it's not, if it's on there, you know what you have to do. You know you're go moding basically through 2 remaining dungeons. If it's not, you can start to logically pick apart where it might be. Captain's going to the Dark World? Or is Captain... Yeah, Captain's
going into the Dark World, that's for sure. I imagine he'll be heading over toward those North Dark World locations.
Okay, Dragus is going to South of Grove Cave now.
capttenneal checked the shovel location.
It's a big 20.
I do not believe Dragus did, though, so he'll be unpleasantly surprised here in a second.
That's just a little bit of love there. Yeah, Dig's going to be a big 20 when Dragus does it here in a moment. At this point, this is a check here where you're kind of like sweating a little bit because you've had this forever, and if it's hookshot, you're like, oh my god, I lost. Because my opponent went and checked that early.
Dragus is headed for Misery Mire, and this time he's going in. There's nothing else he hasn't done over here. We are diving pendant dungeons, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh boy, this is going to be interesting. And unfortunately, this is Bombos, so No bird toss tonight. No bird tote. Not even a bird flambe.
Mm-mm.
I think bird tote is my my new favorite thing to do with a pterodactyl.
I don't even know what that is.
It's where you pick up the bird and walk into the dungeon with it.
Oh, okay. Okay, so
Yeah,
Dragus
people-
opened it and is leaving. I think this might be a ped check.
Huh? You can do Tower of Hair, I think. Yeah, a lot of people call it like bird carry and stuff like that. I like bird tote because it sounds like bird toss, but
Okay, maybe we're just doing the... Maybe we're doing Hera. We might do Hera into Spike Cave or something.
yep.
'Cause that's a few more items.
Either of them fake powder. Nope.
I think this is a ped check.
I believe
Nope,
so.
it's not. You keep making a liar out of me, capttenneal.
Captain, please. But this is going to be a Tower of Hera check from Dragus. Which I think the play here is because there's three items with the pendant turn in. Here's the big
There's
key.
the big key. So, did you know that when that is the small key, you can still hookshot to get it? I mean, not hookshot, boomerang to get it?
Interesting. That's a compass, so we're not going downstairs yet. Hey, Captain's finally getting to do the dig game. Hooray!
Oh yeah, I forgot he tried to do this twice.
Yep, didn't have enough money the first time, and the second time had the chest following him.
I can understand why he didn't do an immediate pet check there. He's still got a couple of things down here to check.
Indeed.
But yeah, basically, if I was going to start diving pendant dungeons looking for the hookshot, I would do the ped check and hope that it was there. That way I could just go mode the dungeons. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. There's a small key. So, still looking for 2 more items. We got a map that's floating out there in the wild, and our 2 items. So, whatever's in these next 2 chests will determine if we go to the basement or not. If it's items, then the map's in the basement. If it's not, if we find the map, okay, there's something in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but Captain is going to go ahead and I believe we're going to see a play into Misery Mire.
So far, it does look like a Mire play. We have entered Misery Mire, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh boy. Yeah, I don't think this is a terrible idea for Dragus, just simply because, again, oh, there's 10 arrows. Simply because you get the green pendant, that's another possible location, and it's fairly quick to clear out Tower of Hera compared to doing a full clear of Misery Mire. The gamble you're going to make is that the item you're looking for isn't in Mire, because if it is, then oh boy. This is the key so far. We know it's in the Ice Palace big chest. I believe it's the map.
Yeah, sorry I made such a big deal about it. We did determine later that there was nothing of importance in the Ice Palace big chest.
Correct. So yeah, I picked up all 3 items. Captain,
There it is!
Oh no! There it is.
It's in Mire. The hookshot has been found. capttenneal has now entered official go mode at 1 hour 43 minutes and 56 seconds.
Wow. So, Captain, having done more overworld clears, having been a little bit behind on some of those checks, makes the absolute right call here. Dives into Misery Mire, finds it in the second chest, the spike chest there, and has taken a lead now.
I mean, Dragus is going to be kicking himself when he finds it, because he was on the doorstep ready to go into Mire and decided, you know what?
Now he's doing Spike Cave. He's gotta walk. He's gotta walk all the way down there. This is never fun. He's gonna die.
Oof. But
He's got a fairy. Okay. Oh yeah, he just picked up a fairy, I guess, from the bush. Okay. And it just
Well, I mean, it's not the worst thing you can find. That's for sure.
This has got to be a misery miner play at this point. This is not going to be a happy, fun time. Oh no, Green Pen did turn in. Still kind of getting led astray. So while we're doing that, and capttenneal is going through Swamp Palace, don't enter it in the chat now, but start thinking of a number between 1 and 22. Start thinking of it.
I'm gonna say pi times e.
Right.
Sorry, I'm a huge nerd. What's up?
Okay. I think we all are a little bit.
I think that's a little less than 9. Anyway.
Guys, we haven't started the game yet. Your entries aren't getting picked up yet.
Yeah, so as soon as capttenneal picks up the 7th crystal here from Argus, we will start the game. The game is guess a number between 1 and 22 where you think the big key will be, and if you are correct, you could be added to our leaderboard, provided that you have either subscribed to one of the Speed Gaming channels or put in 250 bits or more to one of those channels. You're welcome to play along either way, of course. But that will start as soon as capttenneal picks up his 7th crystal on our screen, and you'll see a little start message appear in the chat when that happens.
Great. So, here we are watching Dragus go ahead. We'll be getting the hook shot here in a moment. And based on when Captain went into go mode, I think we're going to see about a 3-minute, 45-second gap at this point. And 1 hour, 47 minutes, 42 seconds, Dragus has entered go mode. Approximately, 3 minutes, 50 seconds behind.
And the floodgates open.
Indeed. So I always like to guess, Bob. I always say the same thing, which is it's in rando room on a normal check there, which I always say is number 12. So usually puts it the 3rd chest in rando room.
Okay. My usual guess is 14, but somebody literally entered that the second I put start in.
Indeed. Count Extreme. Congratulations. And then somebody put, you guessed 21, and then somebody also guessed 21 immediately before you did.
Well, it looks first on my screen. But yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah, the only question is, does the bot think it's first?
No. And that's okay. I can go without winning. I can commentate instead. Here we go.
I mean, there's 819 people here. I'm guessing all numbers are covered. Indeed.
Seems likely.
Yeah. Speaking of that, while we're waiting for Captain to walk up the big long death mountain here, why don't you go ahead and we'll give a shout out here. Make sure to follow both of them, our runners tonight, Dragus and Captain. Putting on a heck of a show here for you guys. Nice, very nice race here. You could always guess 0. Well, in Key Sanity you can. It just means it's outside of the, oh, forgetting about the key there for a moment. It just means it's outside of Ganon's tower.
Yeah, so basically, when it was all said and done with this seed, it all came down to which pendant dungeon did you dive looking for the hookshot, and one went Harrow, one went Meyer, and Meyer was the answer.
Indeed, it's a situation where it's kind of a gamble like that, and you have a 50-50 chance of being wrong or right. So it's hard to say that. Oh, there's half magic, and it's a big 20. But it's hard to say that either decision, like we know in hindsight, the right decision was to go to Meyer, but it's hard to say that with the knowledge that the runners had that going to Hera was a bad idea.
And especially with the green pendant and also Spike Cave still at large.
Indeed. So it's one of those situations where you feel like you want to maximize routing and get as many locations in as you can get in quickly. And it just turns out to be in the one that has the lesser amount of items.
Hey, now we're in business. There's the magic powder. We can start playing the game.
Yeah, Ganon had your magical powder, Bob. You should have got it back from him.
Well, I tried. Anyway,
tried.
So 3 keys now for capttenneal. That is 7 chests without a big key found.
So, yeah. Here's an interesting decision that could actually swing Dragus really close. If Dragus has Dark Magician strats and it's on the right side there, that could certainly, if Captain goes ahead and does a full left side clear, doesn't find this key, that could certainly pull Dragus relatively close back within this fight.
According to my calculations, the left side play at this point is still more likely to pay off than the Dark Magician route, based on the number of keys we found, but
correct.
It's not. It is still possible to go the other way.
Correct. And another key.
Alright, so now it just became equally likely.
Indeed. Getting check that rando room check here. 4 chests here. There's one in Bob's chest, and then there's the 3 left to check here. So there's 8 in total left on the left side, and then there's 5 more on the right. Here's number 10, number 11, number 12. I'm wrong. Number 13, I'm way wrong. So down to 4 more chests to check on this side. It's not on any of these chests. It's on the right side. And once they find this, once both their runners find this key, it's going to be a pure execution fest up through the gauntlet.
So we have a somebody asked in chat that doing swamp without hookshot was maximizing routing, and I think in this scenario it actually really was, mainly because the only things that they had left were pendant dungeons. Mm-hmm. And if it turns out to be in swamp, you just made the best play of the game, right?
Right. It's
there. It is.
Hey, it's in your chest.
It's 14.
Indeed. And that means capttenneal can be running way up that tower into the gauntlet here. And unfortunately for Dragus, that means there's not going to be a chance to catch up by making a right side or a Dark Magician play. They've got to go all the way through the left side to be able to get the Bob's chest. And there's still opportunity here for something to happen execution wise, or maybe Captain takes a unfortunate death somewhere in Gauntlet, has to go back to the start here just as Dragus finds that big key. This is still not over at this point. Crazier things have happened.
So, Captain Tennille now making his way through that gauntlet. We've got a couple of... In room number 2, having a little trouble with those skeletons, but yeah, do what you do.
Indeed. It's always tough with the beatmost on the conveyor belts here, and the conveyor belts themselves, and the spikes, and then we start to throw in ice and conveyor belts, and it's just tough, even with the red mail. Ooh, nice, getting a fairy pickup. That's helpful. Captain, you know, a couple more bonks there. On the way to Lambolas too. Oh, just missing the shot there. Oh no. Okay, got 1. 2 and 3. Okay, cleaned it up on that third cycle there. Good job.
All right, now we move on to some of my favorite rooms in the game. Good old-fashioned Samaria Wizrobe strats.
Yeah, as I like to refer to them, they're some of the most satisfying rooms in the game. Just put down a block, you blow it up, you kill the Wizrobes. It feels good.
Yeah.
Especially after you've been navigating these randomized seeds.
And that second room is a little trickier, but Captain Tennille got it. First try, no problem.
Dragus has that key. We'll be working up through Gauntlet as Captain Tennille will be finishing up the climb here, so...
Okay, I'm officially ignorant. Where did Captain Tennille get half magic?
It was in the, Huh. How come Dragus didn't pick that up? That was in the left side chest, the very first one you opened up in Ganon's Tower.
Maybe he went straight left.
Maybe. He might have, actually, yeah. So that would have saved a little bit of time, but... Yeah, it was in that very first chest in the first room on the right. It was half magic and a big 20.
I guess Dragus went straight left.
I guess so.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, if you think you're behind, you might as well make the gamble that it's on the left side. I'm pretty sure Dragus is thinking quite correctly too. Oh, Captain taking a small bop there as Dragus enters Gauntlet. But if you think you're behind, especially if you went and opened up Mire and then went and did something else, came back and it was in Mire, you probably do think you're behind. You gotta take some risk at this point to try and catch back up.
Alright, Captain Tennille on the third try takes down Trolldorm 2. We're going to head over to Aghanim 2 directly after this. And there's 50 rupees in the final chest.
Because why not?
I mean, he could still be looking for butter. And I'm the first one to know that butter in one of these last few chests can actually win you a race.
Great. Unfortunately, we know where it is. It's in a spike cave.
Correct. Yeah, cape would also be nice to find.
Indeed, and Dragus using the butter spins strats there on Lambolas and having a very nice go of it.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So the butter spin is not going to deal any more than the tempered spin, but you can follow it up with a slash and it deals the same amount. And 2 hits will kill each one.
And Ega 2 is about to go down there, right there. So 1, 1, 1, 2, 1 for those keeping score at home for Captain Tennille. And our duck friend magically appears in the dark world. Nobody knows why. It just happens.
I mean, other people have randomly wandered into the dark world. There's people up on the mountain who did that.
Indeed. So that also makes me think. So the dark world. Oh, we're gonna get some cheese facts, but the dark world transforms you to whatever you see yourself in on the inside. So does that just mean that the duck sees itself as a duck?
Yeah, the
at all
duck.
times?
The duck is already the perfect version of itself.
So we're learning something today. The dark world version of a duck is a duck.
All right, capttenneal is on the second phase of Ganon. A few more slashes. That probably does it right there, I believe.
Indeed. On to phase 3, getting those teleports.
Letting
nice.
some fire loose here. Gotta be careful.
Be careful. That does have a potion, but still can take some hits and still can fall off here. So have to be careful. As soon as we get in the fire bat phase and we get those teleports, that's when you know you're in
Ganon is
phase
going
3.
nuts with the teleports here.
Indeed.
But we're on to phase 4. One silver arrow down. Now we're going to want to light some
Twitch.
torches.
Oh, a little too slow on that, but it'll be all right.
Accidental silverless hit.
Whoops.
We're going to need to light the torches one last time.
Oh, gotta be careful now.
And there we go.
Oh, and a nice triple there from Dragus at the end. So Dragus indeed pulling back some time in GT here from capttenneal, but it is not going to be enough because capttenneal is going to finish up officially with an SRTV time of 2 hours, 2 minutes, and 1 second. So that is our winner there. It's going to be capttenneal. Get those GGs in chat.
GG indeed.
And Dragus is not going to be too much further behind here.
Yeah. Dragus probably, finish. So he finishes Aga and he looks over. He's like, just got sniped. That's what he's thinking right there.
Yeah. It's always kind of a crummy feeling, but there's not a whole, at that point, there's not a whole lot you can do. There's short of a Ganon fall, you're not going to be able to make up that small amount of time.
And that sounds like the dulcet tones of capttenneal joining us for an interview here. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. That was something else.
That was a heck of a steed. It's a back and forth battle actually for the most part between you and Dragus. Kind of were trading off who had the quote unquote lead there for a while, and then you guys were both looking for that hook shot for quite some time.
Yeah, and my digging game blunders that happened a few times. I was like, it's like if something was there, if the hook shot would have been there, I don't know what I would have said when I got there. But.
Yeah. So with the decision to make between Misery Mire and Tower of Hera, you went to Misery Mire. Turned out to be the correct call. Was there any specific reason why you chose that? Just because you had everything for that already?
I honestly felt like I was behind, and I had to make a choice and hope it was there because I figured maybe he got that lamp earlier, and my dark rooms weren't the greatest. I haven't done them in a while, but if he got to go through all those dungeons without the struggles I had, because I lost a few minutes that way, I figured I had to take a chance at Misery Mire.
Indeed, gotcha. And by the way, we're going to say also a GG as well. Get those GGs in the chat for DragusCloud, finishing with an official SRTV time, 2 hours, 3 minutes, 50 seconds. Very, very close race. That is about a minute 50 between the two. Dragus really pulling back a lot of time through GT, but just not pulling back enough to make it happen tonight.
Yeah, so, and DragusCloud's probably going to kick himself because what he did was, given the choice between Meyer and Hera, he actually went to Meyer, opened it up, and then changed his mind.
Oh man.
Yeah, he was ahead of you in opening up Meyer, but then he went and did Tower of Hera for the green pendant. Turned out to kind of be a bust. So
Dragus is also waiting in the waiting room, so maybe we'll bring him online as well. And we are now joined once again by DragusCloud. Welcome, congratulations on finishing. Very close race.
Indeed, GG. So Dragus might be finalizing a few things with the mic here, so we'll just wait a minute. But yeah, this was an excellent race between you two. Hey, Dragus.
I didn't unmute.
Congratulations. It's all right.
Oh, that was quite the race, let me tell you.
Yeah.
So, can you describe the emotions that went through your mind when you found the hookshot in Misery Mire?
Yay, I can stop doing this and get done with everything.
Good. I figured there might have been a little salt just because you came there and opened the place and then was like, wait a minute, let's go to Hera first.
Yeah. I figured I had forgotten about doing that side of Death Mountain. So I'm like, there's more stuff there, I'm going there.
Well, at least you got the butter sword out of it.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, such a close race, such a good one. I mean, if you have to fall to 3-3, at least you fell in a really good race.
Thanks.
And GG.
So, what was you guys? So I want to ask you both about the play going into Swamp Palace, actually, because you both actually dove Swamp Palace without the hook shot. Is that something you would have done again, or was it just a gamble that you kind of did on the fly?
My experience playing the Nightly says Swamp Palace isn't way too good. But I don't know if that's carrying over from the Nightlies.
Interesting.
I was just trying to avoid the pendant dungeons at that point. Like I said, I felt behind. So I thought I had to make a few gambles. Like I said, that's why I went in the Mire first before Tower of Hera, because I really felt like I was far behind and was hoping for something like Hookshot being there in Mire early.
Yeah, so that was a like I had mentioned before. I think that was a perfectly reasonable play at the time. It just wasn't the right one, unfortunately.
Yeah,
so, let's see. Do you guys think this seed was better or worse than some of the other ones you guys have done? What do you think?
I don't think it was that bad. I mean, my execution in a few spots was pretty poor. But I mean, for the most part, my choices, I felt like I made some good choices, even though I was kicking myself for a few things that I kind of skipped over. And I was just kind of hoping for something better.
Yeah, this one seemed to be another hunt down the last item seed.
At least it wasn't the ice rod this time.
Yeah, because that could be anywhere. So one of the other things too that for a while chat was very hopeful, as chat always is hopeful, that it was a pedestal seed. Was that something that crossed both of your minds, or either one of your minds at any point? Because you had that book early. You had that book right out of the get-go, out of the sanctuary. You had the chance to check that pedestal right at the start. Obviously, both of you guys opted not to do it and just continue on with your routing. Is that something that you guys were thinking about at all in the back of your mind, that this could still be a pedestal seed based on the fact that we haven't found this hook shot yet?
When I was in Meyer, when I stepped into Meyer, I was committed that even if I found both items in Meyer, I was going to get the pendant, go to Hera. If it wasn't there, I was just going to go pull the pedestal at that point, because that's what I figured might catch me back up to.
Yeah, I was in the same position. If Meyer didn't have it, I was going to pedestal.
Yeah. Did either of you make any sort of? Did it cross your mind to check the pedestal right out of the escape, or were you just like, nah?
No, it didn't even cross my mind.
Yeah, I don't even consider that a play, to some extent.
All right, perfectly understandable.
Yes, indeed.
So, let's talk about the future, Captain. You're going to move on to 4-2, and so that means one more win. All you got to do is do that to them one more time.
Yeah, I got to be a little bit better, but yeah, hopefully, I'm still alive. Got a chance.
And DragusCloud, of course, you're going to go to 3-3, but there's still 1 week left in the Swiss, and so that is you still at least have the opportunity to play one more game here in this tournament. You think you will do that?
I will.
Excellent. Also, how do I pronounce the word
Dragus.
there? Dragus. Okay, sorry. I will correct my pronunciation. All right. So, is there anything else you guys would like to say about this seed before we wrap things up here today?
Just thanks for commentating. Thanks for tracking. Thanks for everything being put together. This has been my first tournament, but it's been a lot of fun so far with everyone putting everything together.
All right. So, with that, I think we're going to wrap things up here. I want to thank both of you, capttenneal and DragusCloud, for running things here today. It was very entertaining. I want to thank Carissa for running the tracker today. Such a excellent job keeping track of that. And of course, to my co-commentator Nihon Tiger, thank you very much.
Indeed. Thank you as well, Bob. Always a pleasure working with you.
All right. As far as things go tonight, I think that's the last race on the schedule tonight, but there will be plenty more action tomorrow, starting with a race at 11 a.m. on Speed Gaming between Jay Meisher and CDV, and then heading all throughout tomorrow.
Indeed, I'll be paying attention to that 3:30 race between Spleeby and Saberwolf because I need Saber to win for that Buchholz score. Come on, buddy. You beat me. You beat me. You gotta win. Come on, man. I'm cheering you on.
I will be paying attention to it because I will be commentating it. Along with my opponent tomorrow.
That's really interesting. I saw that,
which is hilarious.
And
anyway,
Bob's match is at 10 o'clock, by the way, so you'll be able to catch that out right on this channel. In fact, this time tomorrow, Bob will be running. So who knows? Maybe I'll commentate that one too.
Who knows? All right. Thank you all once again for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw here today, the best way to help those people involved is to give them a follow here on Twitch, and I'm sure we would all appreciate it very much. So with that, I will just say that I have been Dr. Bobtastic.
I've been Nihon Tiger.
And we'll see you later.
Good night, good luck, and good RNG.
Good night.